They just want the subject on the front of the card. And if they frame it, the back of the card doesn't show anyway. Welcome back to SMPostcards. Today, we're going to go through what sold on eBay. I got 15 cards to go through real quick. I'll talk about them, what I sold, what they sold for, and whatever else comes up during that time. Then I got a deep dive on a certain postcard. We've probably all seen these. Recipe postcards, you know, those key lime pie postcards. Basically postcards with recipes on them. Got some history on it, and I got some facts about it. One's on a Jello craze in the 50s and some other recipes, not just postcards. They're kind of weird recipes that we would not eat today. So we'll get into that during the deep dive on the sell-through rate and the pricing of these cards. And then I put out polls on Saturdays, and this poll was, do you prefer posted or unposted postcards? You know, the postmark on the postcard. Do you like them plain and not written on, or do you prefer unposted? And I'll let you know what I think about it and what some other comments and people participated in the poll said. And then I got about 3 or 4 viewer comments at the end of the videos. I always pull some comments from email or YouTube just to discuss. It helps people to know that other people have the same questions you might have. But don't be afraid to leave comments in YouTube or send me an email at contact@smpostcards.com. I'll get back to you. If I haven't, send it again. And keep bugging me, because that's one of the things I want to make sure I do, is get back to comments and get back to email as much as I can. But let's go ahead and get going on what I sold. Again, sold 15 cards. A lot of ship cards again. This one's a USCGC, which is Coast Guard Mesquite WLB 05. Nice little boat, older boat, semi-gloss front and the matte back. And that sold for $4.75. This person bought 2 ships, Navy ships, for $9.50. First one is a little card that the club did, which is the USS Mississippi BB-23. It's got some specs or stats on the back of that. On a little lighter cardstock. Don't sell too many of these, but that one sold. And then this one, the USS Michigan BB-27. So both of those cards sold for $9.50. He bought 2. This is an aircraft carrier, USS Harry S. Truman, CVN 75. Nice publisher card. You know, it's not been written on. It's from that club. They bought these to sell. So that sold for $4.75. Another Raphael Tuck card. It's an oiled lat. Oiled lat is a trademark or a name they came up with. They wanted to show the brushstrokes like a portrait on postcards. It's what they tried to do, and that's why they call it oiled lat. This is the Men of Letters, and it sold for $6.65. Vertical card, and this is Stevenson. I'm not for sure. Robert Louis Stevenson, wherever he is. $6.65. This is the Union Passenger Station, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Just a divided back card. I'm not for sure when it was posted. 07 or something. $4.75. This is a beaded card. It's just a plain card. It's got beads on it. You can hear it. It's got beads on there, like lacquered in. And this is unposted. It's embossed. It's got a little tear in the corner down here. But that sold for $4.75. I think I put it $4.75 because of the tear, and just a plain card. Another naval ship, USS Franklin CV-13. Kind of an action shot. Chrome card, $4.75. Another naval ship, USS Meredith DD-726. Nice looking picture of a ship. $4.75. This is a 18 or 1680 house, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. It's a linen card. I don't know. $4.75 for that. That card, just a Cape Cod house. $4.75. Next one looks like a real photo if you just look at it real quick, but it's the Syme Dormitory, North Carolina State College, Raleigh, North Carolina. But it's a chrome card of the dormitory. Unposted. That sold for $4.75. Another naval ship, USS New Jersey, BB-62. A lot of history about this one. Chrome card, $4.75. This is what I call banner cards, multi-view cards of Sholey's Mountain, Morris County, New Jersey. That's the banner, and that's the multi-view. So you'll see crossovers, people call them different things. It's a chrome card, $4.75. Another naval ship card, USS Brooks, DD-32. Nice chrome card, very colorful. $4.75. And then this is the scene around Meted-Conk, New Jersey. It's just a 1950. It's just a lake with a tree, kind of grayed out. Posted in 1950. Dear sister, it is lovely down here and weather has been nice. I wonder father is at somewhere. Love, Kate. Cursive. A lot of people, younger kids, couldn't even read that. My grandkids probably couldn't. Took me a little bit. I can't read the last part of it. But 1950s, and that sold for $4.75. So a total of 15 cards for a total dollars of $78.75. And if I take $78.75 and divide it by 15, I get an average sale price of $5.25. So not doing too bad today. These will be easy to pack up and take over to the post office. I got a few other things I got to go for my wife to take over there, but it's just a regular day. Pack up postcards, go to the post office, and done. That's what's sold. Now we're going to get into cooking recipes, postcards. I don't know if recipe is French or whatever, but I'm going to walk through some history about recipes on postcards. And while I do that, I'm going to show you some postcards that I found with recipes out there. And the one I had on the thumbnail was a rattlesnake one, but I've sold the key lime pie one and different things like that. But let me go get started here, and then we'll get to some weird facts. Here we go. Recipes have been around for thousands of years, evolving from simple instructions to complex culinary masterpieces. In ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egypt, recipes were recorded on clay tablets and papyrus scrolls. These early recipes were mostly from bread and stews, showing how people combined ingredients to create meals. The idea of writing down recipes helped share cooking methods and make it easier for people to prepare simple dishes. Now, during the Middle Ages, recipes began to appear in cookbooks across Europe. These cookbooks were often handwritten and contained detailed instructions for preparing everything from roasted meats to elaborate pastries. The recipes from this time reflected the ingredients available locally and were influenced by trade and exploration. Spices from the East and new cooking techniques gradually made their way into European kitchens, changing the way people cooked and ate. In the 19th and 20th centuries, recipes became more accessible with the advent of printing technology and the rise of cookbooks. With the invention of the cookbook and the development of home economic classes, I remember doing that in school. I hated it. Walk in there, go to your station, we're number 7 or something, I had to cook something. It never came out like the teacher said. Maybe it was just us. More people could learn to cook from written instructions. Today, recipes are widely available online in various media, allowing people from all over the world to share and discover new dishes. The evolution of recipes has made cooking more accessible and diverse, reflecting changes in culture, technology, and taste. Recipe postcards combine the charm of vintage postcards with the practicality of cooking instructions. These unique cards often feature beautiful illustrations or photographs of the completed dishes, along with the recipe for preparing them. Remember, people eat by sight more than they eat by taste. If it doesn't look good, you're not going to like it. But if it looks good, it's going to probably make it. I was in the restaurant business for many, many, many years, and I had my own. I know how important it is, the presentation. They offer a delightful way to share favorite recipes with friends and family while adding a personal touch. Whether showcasing a classic family recipe or trending new dish, Recipe postcards provide both a keepsake and functional guide, making them a special and creative addition to any kitchen or collection. Now I got 3 facts here. I got some pictures of each one of these, and some of them, I think they're just gross. The Jell-O salad craze. In the mid-20th century, Jell-O salads became bizarrely popular. Recipes include ingredients like vegetables, meats, and even seafood mixed into flavored gelatin. That's gross. The combination of sweet and savory items and gelatin was considered a fun and creative way to serve food, though it might seem unusual today. Yeah, I don't think the texture would be too satisfying for me. There's like meat Jell-O salads and just crazy stuff. Spam. I've seen some of those. Mayonnaise all over the Jell-O. It was gross. These next 2 facts aren't about Jell-O. They're more about other recipes. And so it's not just the Jell-O craze of the 50s, but there was something out there called the ketchup cake. That sounds horrible. Ketchup cake recipe. An old American recipe for cake called for ketchup as one of the main ingredients. The odd combination aimed to add moisture and tangy flavor to the cake, showcasing how resourceful and sometimes particular home cooks can be with familiar ingredients. It kind of looks like that red velvet cake. If you've seen the picture I just put up, that would be gross. I don't know. Then Spam sushi is the last fact. Spam sushi. During World War II, Spam became a popular food in the U.S. due to its long shelf life. In Hawaii, creative cooks began making a unique variation of sushi with Spam instead of raw fish, known as Spam musubi. This favorite of American and Japanese cuisine resulted in a distinctive, surprising dish. We've spent a week over for our 25th anniversary in Waikiki Beach over in Honolulu on Oahu, and we flew over there and stayed right there on the beach and stuff. And I went to McDonald's one morning and I got some breakfast for us, and it was heavy, and I'm saying, what is in this? These things are heavy over here. There was a big hunk of pineapple on one, and you can get Spam on other stuff. Spam was all over the place. They really like it over there. I mean, it's not bad. We didn't eat it when I grew up and stuff. I just don't have a taste for it. But Spam, I mean, you get different flavors of Spam. You got all these jalapeno ones, and when I go to the store, there's like a whole shelf full of different flavored Spam. But ketchup cake and meat Jell-O, I don't know. I'll leave it up to I'm pretty straight meat, potatoes, vegetables, dessert type person. You'd be amazed how simple I am on that stuff. But those postcards come, they'll have a picture of the food and then the recipe on the back. Sometimes they have the recipe on the front too, as you saw. So it was easy to keep. These things usually fit into those little menu things, recipe holders and stuff like that. So they pull it out, they can see the picture, and that's what they want. Now, I don't know about the food selling, but do these postcard recipes sell? One way I do it is sell-through rate. Little chart here I go through every video. The red, I stay away from. If the sell-through rate comes 0 to 3%, I try not to pick them up. I end up getting them up once in a while because I think they're cool, but I didn't check the sell-through rate. But I can't check everything. This gives me a good guideline. The 4 to 10% in the green, the average and highs, where I work, divided back down to chrome, is what I sell the most of. And that's what I key in on because that's what pays the bills. While I'm doing that, I find those other higher valuable cards with the sell-through rate, a higher sell-through rate. The real photos, the Halloween cards, the real special ones, the one-of-a-kinds, they sell themselves. You can kind of throw sell-through rate out the window because a lot of those are scarce, or they're hard to find, or they're just one-of-a-kind. They'll sell themselves. This is average cards. This is what I put it together for me to help out. And how I do that, I just go into eBay search. I'm not looking to get down and get details of 0.1% or one card. Just throw me in a range here. If it's green, I pick it up. If it's red, stay away from. Postcard space recipe is all I put in the search field of eBay. It gives me a 90-day number, and I click sold. And it tells me a number. 136 recipe cards sold in the last 90 days. I take the sold and I divide it by listed. So I go down and check the list, the sold and unclass completed. and I got 2,600 listed. That's it. You times it by 100 to get a percent, and I round up or down, comes out to 5%, and if you look at the chart, it's right in the middle of the average pretty much. So it's an average card. I do pick them up, they do sell. The key lime ones seem to do pretty good. You don't get much above average price for them, but they do move, and that's what you want. You want cards moving through your system, through your store. So 5% is what I come up with, so it's an average card. And if you notice on the last videos and stuff, a lot of cards are just average. That's what I do. And I'm just pulling these out of subjects people send me, or I think something, I got a whole list of stuff. I got all of 2025 already scheduled out. And I got some holes where I can put some stuff in if something pops up. But all these different subjects about cards, but if you notice, a lot of them are average. 4 to 10%. High or average. There's a lot of them that might be low too. But that's why I key in on that market, because the majority of the cards I sell is right there. But when you take the 5% for recipe, I always like to bump it up against like 3 other things in the same kind of category, just to see if that 5% is holding or I need to look at it a little different. So I did postcard space menu. Now menus, for some reason, ephemera with menus, they sell really well. I know a few people I send them to. I don't do them that often, but menus do pretty well, especially unique restaurants and stuff. The older menus with the prices, they do pretty well. 18%. So menus, you want something you want to check on, because that's up in the very high. I always look for menus and stuff at auctions, but they usually go too high for me to sell them to another reseller and stuff. Then you got recipe postcards, 5%. I put postcard cookbooks with cookbooks on there, 4%. And then cooking, I just put cooking. 76 sold, 3,800 listed, 2%. So I think menus 1 and recipe are the top ones. So I think 5% holds. So sell-through rate, I'm done. I know it's a green card. I'm going to pick it up. I know they're going to sit. So they're just average cards. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on them. But then you get into pricing. Pricing can help sell-through rate or hurt it and stuff, but sell-through rate has so many variables, so does pricing. Where do you want to be? I went out there and I usually look for the extreme pricing first, the higher ones. I throw out the real heavy, high ones, and I don't even mess with the 99-cent, $1.99 stuff. Those people can work as hard as they want, but I'll sell 5 cards and they sell 20 cards, and I'll still probably make more money in the end. But I didn't find any extreme, so I found 6 cards. We'll start with the higher ones I found, and down, or it's a mixture here. They're all about the same price range, as you'll see. And we'll go through these 6 cards real quick, and you'll see kind of what the average price for these go on the higher end, and they usually are between $4 and $5 normal. But the first one here is the King, Elvis Presley from Elvis Kitchen Meatloaf, authentic recipe, 2001 postcard. So it's an Elvis Presley meatloaf. $9.99. Blue light special. Who know? Elvis still sells. And then these are the ones that I see a lot of. Is the key lime pie recipe, Key West key lime pies and stuff like that. I don't remember seeing this one, but I've seen other ones. And vintage travel postcards. There's a lot of keyword stuffing. And that sold for $8.50 best offer, probably $5-6. So we're still $6 to $9 is the top here. And then you got another one here, Australia Q Pumpkin Scone recipe for Flo, must be the chef, Flo Peterson or whatever, $8.53 from Australia. So we're still $5 to $9 in the recipe. But that's a pretty cool card. It's got it's got the recipe on the front, it's got the display of the food. Next one is Postcard Florida St. Petersburg Sand Dollar Restaurant Fruit Salad Recipe, 1960s. So it has all the stuff about the Sand Dollar Restaurant, sold for $6. If you buy 2, you get 1 free with a coupon. 2 cards, $6. So we're still $6 to $9, just average prices. Mostly it's going to be in the $5 to $6. Walter Nichols Dexter Press Cocktail Recipe Series Postcard Cooler. It just doesn't flow to me. I want to tell a story with the title to get people. That doesn't really want to make me click that. Unless I'm looking for Walter Nichols, but I'm not for sure people are really searching that for a recipe. There should be the word recipe or something in these titles. I think if they're keyword stuffing, should be a recipe name, or key in on the subject of the card. That's $6. But these all sold. I'm not the best at titles and stuff, but these still sold. So whatever they're doing might be working. Then rhubarb, postcard rhubarb pie recipe. See right there, rhubarb pie recipe, postcard. Right in the front there. It just tells me right there, my follower likes rhubarb, I need a recipe, here's a postcard for it. Boom, it's going to come in a little 3.5, 5.5, or 6x4. I'm going to be able to use it. From the Pen of Cooking Food, Pennsylvania. $7, free shipping. So you see the prices here. These are average cards. I do pick them up, but I don't pay a lot for them. They are going to sit. It's for that special time, but I think this is one spot that you got to get the word recipe and what it is in the title or in the item specifics to make sure it pops up on the searches when people are looking for it. What do you guys think? How would you do some of the titles for these and stuff? But those are 6 cards. I would say 5 to 8 at the most average. Some higher ones, but I really don't know what would be special. Maybe older, ornate ones or something. Would you sell one if it had a stain on it? From I know when I cook, I would probably end up having oil or flour or something on it, and I probably would. I wouldn't worry about having some food stains on a postcard or recipe. But that's recipe postcards. Let me know how you do with these. Who knows? Now these polls come out every Saturday between 9 and 10 Central Time, and I just come up with them. If you got anything with polls, want me to slide one in, a question you want to poll people, and I think it's intuitive, just send me the question and maybe some of the answers you want. I might reword it just to make it fill YouTube and what I'm looking for as well. So that's how I do it. I can always slide them in. I'll let you know if it does when I do put it in or I use it. But this one that came out was, do you prefer posted or unposted postcards? A lot of people like plain, unused, unwritten postcards. And then other people, I don't know if I got one sitting here in front of me. Let's see. Well, you know what I get. It is a postcard with writing on the back and it's been posted with a postmark. That means posted. So what do you prefer? I put the choices of this poll. I prefer posted with 65%. I prefer unposted with 15%, and other was 20%. And I think that's either way. They don't care. Me, I don't really bother. It doesn't bother me if it's written on or whatever. It doesn't change the price in my eyes. Some collectors want pristine ones without that. And a lot of times what collectors do, say they'll have this card and it has writing on it. Well, they might find another version of this card like this and it's clean. They'll trade it out. So they'll put space or place markers in their collection, and they're always looking to better up, so they'll get this better card that's just clean like that, and they'll put that in there and sell the other one or trade it off or keep them both. So that's one of the things I've seen with toys and stuff people will do too. So I really don't care. I don't think it changes the price. A lot of people like to read them and stuff like that. There's a place in eBay that says posted or unposted. I make sure I check that. But you can see in the title and the scans, I don't think people are really looking for, except the hardcore collectors, putting in there and searching by posted or unposted. It just, whatever the card looks like to most of my buyers in there. They just want the subject on the front of the card. And if they frame it, the back of the card doesn't show anyway. So it's the time it takes to read the back of cards and stuff like that and try to get an extra 25 cents, 50 cents. I don't do that. I just had to stop somewhere, so I let it go and get it to the people that want to do that. I'm not the sorter. I'm not the one that does all that. I'm the one that's going to move the card, and if you get another $10 out of it, so be it. I got my margin. But I got some comments from people just to level set this. Blue Morgana, either or. It is the content that usually counts. The subject of the card. I agree with that. Blue. Thanks. Then Bert and Ernie. Posted is preferred just for the reason of the date stamp or the contents of the message. Yeah, he's one of those that read that and try to come up with something special about it and stuff like that. And the postmark. That is a key thing about dating a postcard, It helps a lot of customers, buyers go by the postmark. I just know the postmark tells me that the card was made before that postmark was on there. So it's kind of a starting ending point, but people can hang on to those for years and not mail them in the postmark. So this gives you a place to start to go back on there. And it's neat to and different postmarks have different meanings. BPO, if they're defunct post offices no longer around. A lot of people get into that. It gets a little too close to the stamp world for me because, like I said, I can't do it all. So I had to say, where do I stop? I can't look at every little card, every little thing. I need to niche down and be able to do this productively. And if I stop and look at everything about the card, every little angle, I would never get the cards listed and get enough up there to sell. So thanks, Bert. Then Sandy, stamp postcards help me with dating the card, and sometimes the correspondence are very interesting, but I actually like both. Yeah, I just take both. And Sandy likes to read the cards and correspondence and stuff. Thanks, Sandy. Then Deborah Carter. For me, I love the messages. Ice skating on a lake, dances, picnics, crops, love stories, travel stories, funny notes, lost local history. I just love it. It is why it takes so long to list. Honey, I'm going to sit down and list cards today, and you get through 2 cards in 3 hours. Yeah, it takes a little long. So if you got the time to do it, and this is what you want to do, and you enjoy it, I tell people, do what you like. I don't like sitting there reading and doing the research. I'm just not wired that way. I would rather, now some cards I do, because I know there's more money. I have to be driven by something, and money drives me when I'm selling postcards. Or if it's really unique, something I haven't seen in a long time or haven't seen at all. But it just can't, I just can't do it all. I have to read each one. I also look up the addresses sometimes and wonder if the homes, churches, business are still there. Sometimes better than what's on the other side. It's my opinion. Yeah, so she's the back of a card reader, and she likes that the best. Yeah, people look for restaurants that aren't there anymore. I think it's worth a lot more money. Sometimes they are, but for the time spent on it for me, I just don't see the return on investment. I let the local people in that area figure out the delicatessen's not there and stuff. I mean, restaurants go out of business. It's a huge turnover as restaurants. Thanks, Deborah. Then Papa Picky. Paw Picky. That's a cool name. Posted postcards have the added benefit of being able to show a date on the postmark. It helps to prove the provenance of the card. Yeah, it shows if they know the eras when the card was made and stuff. That most buyers probably don't know all that stuff. And they're not experts in postcards, a lot of the buyers of my cards, but collectors will. So yeah, so everybody's here. I see the thing is they like to see the date on the back of the card. It helps put the value of the card or the date of the card. I understand that. So that's the poll. But I have different things, posted or unposted. I just change it into item specifics. I try to catch them as much as I can. But I don't think people are really, most people are searching on post or unposted. They're just looking through, is my opinion. But thanks everyone for participating. Check it out. Make sure you subscribe so you can see them when they come out on Saturdays. They're in the community tab. All of them are out there ever since I've done the polls, so you can always go back and look. And at the end of the year, I take all the polls for the year and I put them together into a video, and I call it Best Practices, because this is basically what it comes out. I had to name it something, so I call it Best Practices, and I give you my goals, what I'm doing in 2025 and stuff like that in that video. And that usually comes out at the end of the year, in December or early January. And the people really like that. It's a fast-paced video. I just take the top, I do the poll, like this one, do you prefer posted or unposted? 65% said they prefer posted. Best practice. Stuff like that, and just keep boom, 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 and talk a little bit about them. So it's a real quick video. People like it, and they want me to do it every year. They were talking about it the other day. They said, are you going to do that again this year? I said, yeah, I'll go through them all. So it takes me a little bit to put them together, but I'll start working on that early, because I already got them done, and I'll grab and get what I can to script it out, and that way I just have to add a few at the end. But thanks again, everyone. Now, at the end of every Monday videos, the longer videos, I always do comments. I pull them from YouTube and email. I get a lot of emails, which is great. If they want them more private, you put it in YouTube, everybody can see, you do a comment, everybody can see your name. Now, if you do a poll and just vote on a poll, I or nobody can see who that is. But if you put a comment, it has your username on there. I still don't know your real name. It just puts your username on there. But I grabbed 4 questions today to go over. The first one is from Eddie, Sergeant Rock. Hi Mark, do you buy albums with postcards stuck in them? If so, how do you get them out cleanly? I don't. I went over this before many times. This is a common question that I get. I'm glad Eddie brought it up again. When I try not to buy albums I cannot touch or see. Online auctions and stuff, I've gotten stuck too many times with albums that they're glued in, and try to get those out without damaging the card. I'm spending 10 minutes per card trying to get out. Some people say they'll grab the more expensive cards out of it. I just don't want to damage them. You never want me as a surgeon. I would be cutting things you wouldn't want and stuff like that. So I don't deal with them. I'll just sell the album as a whole and let someone else do it. I'll just cut my losses and go. And that's what I do. But if anybody else has any questions for Eddie on there, how to do that, what's the safest way to get it out and stuff like that, I don't mess with them anymore. I got an album here right now that I will be mailing to my cousin. It's from that area. But it came in with a lot of stuff, but they're all stuck in there. And I don't want to ruin the cards and stuff, so I'll just send it to her and she can do something with it. Thanks, Eddie. And then RJ Lax Vespa, I think that's what it is. Out here in sunny Los Angeles, never leave your receipts or packages on your windshield. Surprise. He's from Los Angeles. Though this came from me talking about thermal printers, where those receipts that you get, if you have a receipt and it's thermal printed and you leave them in the light, they're going to fade out. Just like a store receipt, they're going to fade out. And then he says if you put anything up in a window in Los Angeles, it all fades out. I've seen that with toys. You'll see that in stores where they've had it in the window for years, a box, and one side's just faded and the other side's not. Because UV light will just fade everything out. So thanks, Vespa. Then Long Gone Geek. This was about thermal printers. There was Rollo, IDP, RT1, and Zebra. Zebra was a big thing. Zebras are work horses. They're used industrial and stuff like that, and I talked about that. I've never had one, but I've known people that have. And he says Zebra is definitely a workhorse. I keep saying workforce sometimes. I don't know why. I bought one used for $80, which is a really good price for a Zebra, on eBay around 17 or 18 years ago, and it's still going strong. Recently had to replace the power cord for $20. I wonder what happened to the power cord. I never heard of people having to replace power cords. Did it fray, or was it under some people walking on all the time? I don't remember ever replacing a power cord that ran correctly or whatever. That would be interesting. Were the ends, did it burn out? You'd think that would take out the system too. But Zebra is a good one as well for 4x6 labels. If you don't have a thermal printer, check out this Widget Wednesday video, and I talk about what to look for. You got Christmas coming up and you got all the holidays. Tell your family you want a thermal printer and get some labels with it too, and find a place to put them. Remember, it's all about real estate. But in that video, I found a little neat thing. You can go up instead of along. So I talk about all that in the video. Thanks, Long Gone Geek. And this last came in. Talking to me, do you have a website you sell on outside of eBay, like Shopify or something? If so, does it do well? Thanks for your videos, Chad in Texas, the Big D. And I think the Big D is Dallas. I think I saw that on a postcard. If I'm right, Chad. No, I do not have a outside of eBay anymore. I just sell on eBay. I own www.SMPostcard.com. That's pointed right to my eBay store. I just take the URL to my eBay store and I put it in GoDaddy that does my domain of that, and that's where it's pointed to. I did have for a while, I did try to put the naval ship, since I got so many of them up, on its own website. And I used GoDaddy, and I created the website. I used Google for the payment processor and all that stuff. And I did all the, sent the sitemap in. I didn't pay for any advertising. There was no way for selling those cards at that price that I could pay all that Google advertising and stuff. It would just eat it up. And I wasn't pulling stuff out of my store. So I had a couple thousand Navy ships up there. And it went through. I had it on Facebook. I had it on Instagram. So I did market and stuff. Tried the best I can. It was in Google search and stuff like that. You want to know how many I sold in 2 years? Zero. And I was selling ships every day on eBay. I did everything I can without paying for advertising, and I wasn't going to do that. I was already paying for the website and stuff, and it's a tough thing to do. Nobody drives the traffic for postcards, I found, like eBay does. There's 11 to 12 million postcards out there with thousands of sellers. A lot of people come to eBay for postcards. Plus, I ran into other things. I was thinking, sales tax. eBay takes care of that for us. If I sell something in all the states, they grab the sales tax and they pay New Jersey, South Dakota, California. I don't have to deal with sales tax. With Shopify and stuff, you have to do your own. And these states want you to pay if you're selling it to other states and stuff like that. Marketing. eBay is eBay. Everybody cries that they don't advertise a lot. That's not what's going to drive your business. Everybody knows eBay. It's a name out there. It's like Xerox, Saran Wrap, Kleenex. Everybody knows eBay. And just advertising on a radio or something like that isn't going to get them to come in and look at your product and stuff. I'd rather have them spend the dollars on research and development or doing something different or reducing our fees than spend it on advertising. Because their name recognition is already there. So marketing is a big thing, how to market it and stuff like that. And I did everything I could at SEO, everything I could in there, but it just didn't move. Some of these naval ship sites wanted me to pay like $1,000 a month just to put a URL or something out there. And I'm saying, what? Another site wanted a cut of my cost. And I was like, you guys are, no, I'm not dealing with all this. I did get a few Facebook groups and stuff that put my URL out there, but still no one bid on them. And I had them very cheap, just like I do on eBay. And I sell them all the time on eBay. I thought I could cut some fees, but I come out, I don't think the fees were that lower by the time I spent on it, the GoDaddy fees, the domain, all that stuff. I don't think it's that much cheaper than eBay. Another thing is people just take eBay for granted. You get out the Shopify or you get out and sell stuff like on another site, you don't have all the rules and the backing of eBay and stuff. You're the boss. You got to make up the rules. Now PayPal and some of these other things have certain rules about you have to deal with certain things on chargebacks and stuff like that. But that's why eBay has the rules. Over years they've said you got to do this. And everybody kind of abides by it and they got your back on it. They're really a listing site. They're just managing it from afar. You don't have a lot of that in Shopify and stuff. Say I got my eBay store where I have SMPostcards.com pointed to, and then I get a website. I have to repoint it over here, or do I point it over here? Do I point it over here? Do I point it over here? Or do I need another URL, the domain name, to send it over? You can only have one SMPostcards.com. So where do you send it to? I got all this name recognition and trust I built over time, and now I'm going to put it over here. I don't have any trust, and I lose it over here. So I have to come up with another name and build another brand, or whatever. To me, it's just not worth the trouble. Some people are successful doing it with some things, but I just saw it as just another way I had to turn my head over. And Shopify, they have links to eBay where you can put all your stuff from eBay over to Shopify, and a lot of people went to that. But then they found out there was a change on Shopify, or there was one change anywhere, eBay, or all these different sites, and they had a middleware software running it all around. You've just totally lost control. You spend more time verifying stuff and learning all these different sites than you do actually selling stuff sometimes. I just think it's a lot of money. I've worked with middleware all my life. It's good. It takes it from one format to another format, so one system can read it, whatever. It's a required tool for a lot of things, translating stuff and moving stuff over, importing stuff over. But for what I do, it wasn't worth the time to deal and pay for all that. If I'm paying $30 a month for one subscription, that's over $300 a year. how many $5 to $8 postcards do I need to sell just to pay for that one piece of software? That website's going to be $25 to $30 a month. Now you're up to $600. Then all your connectors and your sales tax jar or whatever can take care of that for you. All the reporting could be another $300. And now you're $1,000 a year into this website. Let's see, if I take, let's say we have $1,500 by the time you're done doing a website, and I divide that by $5, I need to sell 300 postcards at $5 to pay for that website. So that website's got to give you 300 postcards sold if you're selling at that. That's a month worth of postcards for a lot of people, or 2 months, 3 months. You know, to sell $5 postcards. Now, if you're selling higher stuff, are you going to get the views over there? So to me, I don't think it's any better than eBay. I think it's worse. The Shopify, like this desk here is Veridesk, is who makes this. They're a big corporate office supply place. They need a place to put their website. They throw it on Shopify. No problem. They advertise on TV and do all that stuff. And that's how they get. That's how I found it. It was a Shopify store, and I bought this desk. A standing desk for me. You know, that's what it's really made for, I think. But these little postcard stores, it's going to be on there. But there's some people that can do okay with it. So I'm trying to come up with a definite answer for you. Is no. I didn't make any money. It's gone. I sell them on eBay only, so I can focus on what I do. But anybody tries it or good at it, and they're doing well with it, is great. But I think it was more effort in there. I'm probably repeating myself here and stuff. But no, I don't have a website anymore. I just focus on eBay. Recipe postcards. Anybody's got some really good ones or weird ones, you know, send it in to contact at SMPostcards.com for show and tell. And I'd love to see like ketchup cake, mustard jello. That's just gross and stuff. That jello stuff. I mean, jello's got a weird texture anyway, and now you put meat and crap in it. Oh God, I couldn't handle that. That's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.